You ever been really pleasantly surprised? Because I sure am. Welcome back. On paper, the Olympus XA-2 is not a camera for me. Its zone focus, it's got no manual controls, it's entirely made out of plastic, the lens is a slow and... Who am I kidding? I really like this camera. The XA-2 is the second iteration and the lesser loved sequel to the very often praised Olympus XA rangefinder camera. But if you believe internet conjecture, the XA-2 actually has the sharper of the two lenses, and supposedly a more accurate meter. Now I've messed around with an XA, and ergonomically they're pretty much the same camera. The XA-2 I found has a little bit of a brighter viewfinder, and you don't have to worry about that rangefinder patch right in the middle. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Normally when a camera hits my shelf, it's backed by countless hours of YouTube rabbit hole research. But on the rare exception, I can usually find a diamond in the rough on Facebook Marketplace. And without much research, I ended up picking up this XA-2 for a pretty clean deal. So quickly after getting the camera, I tossed in some batteries and luckily it came with the A11 flash. So that paired with a roll of Kentmere 400, I went for a test roll. But first a little overview of this pocket-sized powerhouse for point and shoot. Without the flash attached, the XA-2 is a compact little camera. A little small for my hands, admittedly, but when the flash comes on, it gives you something more to hold, and it's really comfortable. When you want to start shooting, you just slide the cover over, and it unlocks the bright red shutter button. On the lens, you'll see controls for your ISO, a switch to turn on the flash, as well as a little focus tab, giving you your 4 zones of focus. That little tab lines up perfectly with your middle finger as well. Anyways, the flash is easy to kick on, just a little poke on the switch and it starts charging up. However, it does take a very long time. I've noticed even on the lower powers, it can take over 30 seconds to fully charge up. That could be because this flash is powered by just one AA battery though. As long as you're willing to put up with the wait, it is plenty bright and does a really great job of filling a scene. And that ISO selector above the flash switch is a little finicky to get right, but you're not really changing that all too often. More of a minor concern than anything, but something to keep in mind. Above that is the lens, but we'll talk more on that later. And then above that is the light meter, which, again, if you believe internet conjecture, is much more accurate than previous versions, especially given the fact that this camera pretty much makes you surrender all manual control in favor of its auto exposures. The shutter button on top is deceptively sensitive, which is something I saw a lot online but didn't really believe until I already popped off a couple accidental frames while walking around. And the rewind knob is pretty cheap feeling. It's very plasticky, and that feeling does echo in a couple other places on the camera. Not to say it doesn't feel well built, but it is made of 80s plastic, and these materials obviously do not feel as premium as something like a full metal mechanical camera. That being said though, stacking it up to my full metal mechanical cameras, it is a pretty solid package. It still feels good in the hand, and I do really enjoy using it. And considering how much lighter it is compared to its metal cousins, it is a joy to carry around and shoot with. And go out and shoot I did. We went out to a peach festival local to us, even deeper in the country though, and I had a lot of fun snapping around, doing my best impression of a street photographer. The 35mm lens on this guy does do a great job of capturing a lot of things in the scene and still giving you some flexibility to tighten things up. Normally I am a 50 guy, but in this case I understand having a 35 and I really didn't mind it too much. I finished up the Kentmere and these results really impressed me. It's hard to imagine getting such competent results out of such a toy-like camera. But really, this is a pretty serious piece of equipment. Anyways, I loaded up a roll of Aerocolor and continued shooting. Realizing we were right by Gettysburg, we decided to do a little drive through the battlefield. We ended up at the Viewpoint Big Round Top for those familiar.
officers and 13 men recruited in Philadelphia, mustered in
Ignoring the light leaks from the bulk-loaded Santa color that I had in the camera,
mustered out.
it performed really well. I do still need to work on my zone focusing, but these are things that are rectified by just working with the camera a little more.
Doesn't look like earthly. Devil's Den there. There's a house. See that house? See that house way up there in the field? That's that one. The skiers over there.
A couple of shots from the back of the Jeep, you can see that not being able to nail down shutter speed does kind of shoot you in the foot sometimes. The XA-2 does what it wants, and God willing, that's what you want it to do too. But that's kind of the fun of this camera. It's a little more involved than your average point and shoot, but it's just hands-off enough to be fun still. I wouldn't carry it around for anything professional, or whatever that means, but I'd be more than happy to carry it with me for taking some fun snapshots, especially over your run-of-the-mill point and shoot, where you're fighting with all sorts of whirring motors and zoom lenses and whatever, things that just tend to get in the way. As someone who tries to carry a camera with them at all times, this is a great little companion to take with me on small little trips or going out with friends or things like that. And it really is a joy to carry. While I haven't gotten a ton of film through it yet, I've got a ton of ideas for this guy, and there'll definitely be more to come from it. So stay tuned and see if I actually learn how to zone focus. But till then, I'll see you next time.